and that too after paying some charges. So my customer is not the end consumer or that housewife who is watching the TV. My consumer is the state electricity board, my consumer is the state governments, my consumer is the central government, my consumers are the big industrial houses. And Tamil Nadu government, and there are, and I will not name the state government, the payment of those working capital cycle is that they don't pay us for 1.5 years. My dues have been not being paid for my power that I supplied them for less than 1 year. Have we envisaged that thing? We have only identified that there is a huge demand supply gap, but whom I am serving to? Who is my end consumer that I am serving to? So this is the third objective that I wanted to bring it before the audience as such, and then we need to address all these issues in one of the seminars like this, that we need to come up with an answer. Till the time we come up with an answers to all these problems, then all these seminary issues, and we will all talk in this table. The power plant, the power situation is not going to improve it in India. Now, the fourth point, which is called the greediness of the promoter. I get a license to set up an hydropower plant of 10 megawatt. I managed all the things and everything. The potential of that site, of that hydropower plant site, we all know it is approximately around 14 to 15 megawatt of a hydropower plant that the site can generate. And then only as a promoter I try and manage to get it around 10 megawatt license. Now I got it, and bankers have now become smarter a little bit. They know that the thumb rule of setting up a hydropower plant is around 6 crores per megawatt. So out of 10 crore, I got a 60 crore of project cost, bankers. But internally I know that I am going to spend 90 rupees into the project. Because my project that is going to be installed, the potential of that site is approximately around 15 megawatt of that potential site is there. I have managed it somehow so that I need not pay so much of licensing fee to the government authority, and I take a license and I take an official license of that this site is capable of generating only 10 megawatt of the electricity. So this 5 megawatt, this promoter has got an inherent need or the inherent greed that is there that he need to set up. For that he required 30 crore of extra funding. Bankers, he is projecting all the financial numbers and everything as per the 10 megawatt project. Ultimately, this project funding has to go haywire somewhere or the other down the line in 2 to 3 years time, where there will be cost overrun, where there will be the project will not be completed in time, because the interest of the borrower and the investor is not aligned together. So we need to align this interest together. Till the time we align those interests of the who is borrowing the money and who is giving the money, the interest of those two entities are not aligned, then how can we see that the funding is going to come up with it? Now there is another problem. As a banker, you understand, they have to deal with iron steel. There are at least 500 industries and 500 sectors that they need to deal with. Power sector, and that too MNRE sector, it is a new sector. There are 3 distinct problems before even I submit a project report to a banker. What is the promoter track record? What is the plant and machinery supply track record? And who is at least going to guarantee me the PLF factor? I think these 3 parameters will identify the basic assumption sheet of any of the project report that we are going to justify, and who is going to insure me for this through basic flaw. As a promoter, sir, this power sector is so new in India, so I cannot be expected to have all this power sector expertise into it. It has not been a slowly evolution theory, sir. Ultimately, you see that in the 12th 5-year plan, the government decides one day that we should have 78,000 megawatt of electricity. And we decide that in the next 5-year plan, out of which we achieved a 53,000 megawatt of electricity, the investment has all gone into it. So it's all happening so sudden that the experience of the promoter is not expected to be there into this thing. I'm not doubting the potential of the consultants and everything, but who is going to justify and all the hydrological requirement which is there into the hydropower plant? Who is going to justify those things? Who is going to justify and who can visualize that the solar power plant cost will get reduced by 50% into the next 1 year? By the time I have taken 50% of my loan amount disbursement, my project cost has been gone down by 50%, sir. By the time I have just imported the plant and machinery, the hydro technology, the power consumption or the plant and machinery, the cost of that plant and machinery has got reduced by 20% because of China reducing their prices. And again in India, there is so much of thing like cost overrun or the time overrun, sir. There are how many power equipment suppliers are there in India? If you leave around the BHELs of the world, how many power equipment suppliers are there in India? I think the 70% of the crux of the problem lies about the source of supplying of those power equipments. We are only talking about the end use. What about the support mechanism that will enable this end use mechanism? We should talk about what will enable us the ecosystem is to try and develop that there should be proper plant and machinery supplier. There should be proper agency who can certify that at least this PLF should be there. There should be some certifying agency or some insurance agency that your payment is guaranteed or some LC mechanism is there in place. Sir, till the time we have got all these basic ingredients in place, how can we all expect that the demand supply gap is there? But ultimately, the power has to be produced, power has to be supplied, then only, sir, the consumer can see the TV at the end of the day. Now, we need to again, what are the things, whatever the issues that we have talked about. Now we talk about some of these success stories like European countries or in Germany we have been seeing all these things, that why those countries are so successful, and these are the issues that we have rightly pointed out, these are the issues which are there in the banking sector. So there are three benefits in USA, Philadelphia, or there is one more other states. So we have studied those states and those promoters which come to us, they are setting up the plant overseas than in India. In these last 2 years, I think as far as we are only concerned, there are at least 10 promoters I know, instead of setting up a power plant or the renewable power plant in India, they are all set up either in US or in Germany. So there is a 90% of the equipment cost is on soft loan basis. It means it is at 0.25% loan or anything as such. Have you ever thought, we only talk about the success stories, sir, there 48% growth is there from the renewable energy in the world. Sir, why there is a growth? Why we are not able to do that? I think as an entrepreneurial capability is concerned, we are no less. So, if there is a 50% growth in those countries, there has to be some basic assumptions that has gone into it. There is a tax benefit, there is a 125% tax benefit that is given to all the UK companies if they are getting invested into a clean energy company. It means if you are investing 100 rupees, you get a benefit of 125 rupees from the direct tax amount. That is why where all the venture capitalists or all the private equity, whatever you see right now, it is only coming or the emanating out of the fact that those countries has given them the tax benefit that they should go and invest into the clean energy project. Why there is no Indian fund or the Indian promoter which is being there, which is investing into the clean energy project? What is the tax incentive we have got here to invest into this project? So we have to understand, sir, there has to be, if we are talking it from a social perspective, the funding has to come from the social sources. If it has to be a commercial venture project, sir, funding has to be commercially viable project. We cannot link, sir, it is socially requirement and I need to get it funded from a commercial entity as such. These two parameters are different. So the disbalance between this renewable energy project is only this disbalance that we think the project from the social perspective that it is good, and while implementing it, we have to do it from the we have to pass through the lenses of the commercial venture. So these are some of the perspectives that I wanted to highlight from the debt perspective. Now what about the equity? Why the equity investment is not coming down in India? Sir, instead of all the getting into that stock market liquidity or the stock market condition as such, private equity investors definitely look at three basic criteria before investing or taking equity in any of the project. First, he is not He has not come here. He will now he will invest into the project, and his grandson will eat into the project. He is not that long-term an investor into the project. He wants his return between 5 to 7 years. What is the exit route? If any private equity investor has invested any money into the project, what is the exit route that is available to an investor? Is the market, is our stock market capable of providing that liquidity? Secondly, is the size justifying enough it? Now, there are a lot of scattered investment that has done. Again, in this renewable energy, what is now happening is that we are getting into small 5 megawatt, 10 megawatt of energy projects. So this 5 or 10 megawatt of energy project into the renewable sector, again we are thinking it from a socialist perspective, we are thinking it from a social perspective, sir. Till the time we get into a bigger picture, till the time we have got 500 megawatt of any renewable energy coming up into a particular place, the cost of production, the economies of scale are not going to justify that investment. So, how many renewable energy except hydro you leave aside, and that too hydro I can count, there are around 12 hydro power projects which are there, which are more than 1000 megawatt of hydro power plant. In a country of this magnitude, we have got only 12 hydro power plant only with a magnitude of more than 1000 megawatt, that's all. So, how can we all imagine that there will be economies of scale that will come up with it? How can you imagine that in case if there is a little bit of 10-20% of cost of production coming here and there, the promoter will be able to survive that or withstand that difficulty? So, again the question comes is of consolidation. How to consolidate the small pockets of this renewable energy? Again, there are Indian entrepreneurs who have set up the project of the renewable energy, whether it is solar, whether it is wind or anything, sir, it is all due to their tax debt. Till the time IPP, independent power producer of this renewable energy, till the time the concept has not yet arrived in India. We are only doing this renewable energy, all the entrepreneurs, whatever we are talking about the numbers, it is all just to avail the tax benefit that we are here for. So till the time, sir, if this is the ultimate objective of getting the tax benefit of my Indian corporates getting into my investment into the renewable energy sector, the difference between the social and the commercial angle is this much. Till the time Ministry of MNRE and Ministry of Finance, how much is the gap between these two ministries? This would be the gap that will always remain between the MNRE project and the funding project. So we should try and build up this gap, we should try and build up these expectations of the people together. The investor and the borrower need to be same aligned into the thought process together. Then only I think all these challenges that can be built into the project. And this restructuring or this cost of production issues or this commercial, there might be a lot of other issues which are there, like there might be policy issues, there might be other infrastructural issues, because that we all know that the government may not be taking decisions or anything as such, but once they are active also, I am just taking into an account that it is a very hypothetical situation that government is very active. They are giving us everything, all the support. Ministry of MNRE and Ministry of Finance are working together. The decision making is very fast, but then also, sir, till the time these grassroots issues are sorted out, I think it will be difficult for any of the MNRE project to take it into a big league. I think, although I'm ending it on much more on an opportunistic note, sir, nothing is there. There are a lot of other agencies which have been coming up as such, like PFC and REC, which the government of India has decided that they would set up a specific fund